As the sun, when he rises upon the earth, liberally imparts his rays of light to all, so did Constantine, proceeding at early dawn from the imperial palace, and rising, as it were with the heavenly luminary, impart the rays of his own beneficence to all who came into his presence. This over-the-top statement from Eusebius from Caesarea, Constantine's biographer, might sound overly dramatic to our modern ears, but it was a finely crafted part of a propaganda machine aimed at establishing the emperor as something above the normal earthly world, directly linked to the Christian God that Constantine chose to adopt as the real, one true God. Constantine the Great was great by his own merits. He defeated enemies stronger than him multiple times, unified an empire divided. Many of his edicts and decisions deeply influenced the world we live in today. I dare say wasn't for his conversion to Christianity, the Western world would have been completely different today, and at the end of the day, he did manage to become this larger-than-life character he wanted so much to be, depicted on every public image as this special man, connected to God in a unique way, which granted him the stellar success he had. And the coins struck under Constantine reflect this finely crafted public image campaign, highly focused on the man and his perceived flawless nature. Even the smallest bronze coins had slogans such as Providentia Augustorum, the providence of our emperor, with guard towers passing an image of security, or even more explicitly, Soli invicto comiti, the unconquered son, my companion. My companion. If that does not pass an image of a man directly linked with God, I don't know what does. But today we're not looking at the humble bronze coins, which will get their episode one day. We're looking at this marvelous gold medallion, an object that treads the line between a monetary item and a token, a show of grandiosity from Constantine to the elites of the empire. Let's explore this medallion first as a coin, a store of value in Constantine's new monetary system, and then we will explore what the images on the obverse and reverse of this remarkable coin mean. Before we start, let me once more thank the very generous support of Dean Kinzer, owner of Kinzer Coins, for sponsoring this episode, for helping this channel grow, and for filming this beautiful coin so we can all enjoy it. If you're looking for a reliable coin dealer, go to kinzercoins.com and have a look at the pieces he currently has to offer, as well as his other services. He can personally help you find pieces you might be having a hard time finding, as well as personally representing you at coin auctions. Dean is a great guy and an equally great numismatist, worthy of your support. The links to his website will be in the description down below. Alright, let's get back to our lovely medallion here. This is a gold 1.5 Solidus Medallion, weighing around 6.3 grams of nearly pure gold, as refined as they could get at the time. The first thing we need to explore is, what is a solidus? For all of Roman imperial history, the aureus was the only gold coin made. Is this a new denomination? And yes, this is a new denomination introduced by Constantine. Maybe we need a bit of historical context to understand this. Throughout the late 2nd century AD, and particularly during the 3rd century, the well-organized three-metallic system originally established by Emperor Augustus was thrown out of whack by debasement, that is, the deterioration of the metal quality of the silver coins. Originally, 25 denarii of high-quality silver equal to 1 gold aureus, but as the silver content of these coins dramatically dropped, anyone who had a gold coin knew switching one of these for 25 of the new bad silver coins was a really bad idea. They were getting less pure silver content for their gold, much less, and soon all gold coins were hoarded away, leaving circulation, which in turn made the inflationary issue even worse. Later emperors such as Diocletian reformed the entire monetary system, reintroducing the aureus and giving it a value more in line with its real gold value, but the hoarding of gold continued. What Constantine did then was not only to create this new coin, but also ensure that it actually circulated in the economy by having its value fluctuate. That is, its value changed in relationship to the lower denominations, which were more vulnerable to inflation. That means you could hoard gold, yes, but you also knew that when you went to the marketplace to spend your valuable gold, the value in products given to you would be in line with the real value of the coin, instead of being pegged to a highly inflationary smaller denomination. This gave people a higher degree of trust in spending gold. He also ensured that the Roman economy, by that time starved of gold, had once more enough of this metal circulating. He seized the gold reserves of his defeated enemies and made it all into coins. He seized treasuries of old pagan temples and made coins with them. And he defined that the main taxes payable to the state had to be paid in gold. Basically, he generated favorable conditions for those willing to put their hoarded gold back into circulation. He also forced people to use gold in their obligations with the state, and he supported the system by making sure enough gold was put into circulation. During the previous centuries, Rome worked on somewhat of a silver standard. The aureus was more of a store of value, an auxiliary denomination for big payments, foreign commerce, and a store of value really, but it wasn't struck in sufficient numbers to be part of everyday life. Now, Rome was put on a de facto gold standard, which would continue for centuries under the surviving eastern half of the empire. However, in this case we're talking about a gold medallion. This was a prestige piece, a gift, not a mere solidus. Being given one of these coins was a show of allegiance towards the emperor and you, the recipient, a likely member of the nobility, in a show of imperial largesse, which had the added benefit of also serving as money. An emperor giving its subjects monetary gifts wasn't anything new really. Emperors of previous centuries did the same. What calls my attention in these medallions is the fact that a lot of these, with different designs, were made in different mints throughout the empire, likely indicating the emperor was constantly traveling with a big entourage and issuing these coins to his subjects, buying off the local nobility's allegiances wherever he went. So, for example, this particular medallion is dated between 326 and 327 and attributed to the city of Siscia. And the imagery chosen for these coins is quite tasteful. It was carefully curated as to not offend the elites that would have received such coins. There were still quite a few pagans amongst them. But this design is not as innovative as one would imagine. The image of monarchs looking up had been on coins for centuries. It wasn't a recent Christian invention. Many instances of previous coins from the old Hellenistic kingdoms featured their kings looking upwards in search of divine inspiration. The Seleucids in particular were quite fond of this kind of portrait. This medallion was but one of the many other instances where Constantine was depicted looking upwards, pointing upwards, ascending, connecting himself to someone or something above us all. The remains of the Colossus of Constantine in the Capitoline Museum show his eyes looking up, just like on this coin. One of the hands of this Colossus also survived, and it points at something. It's quite safe to assume that this massive hand once pointed up to Constantine's one true god. Inside the museum we can also find the remains of a smaller statue, this time in bronze, and once more Constantine is depicted with his gaze turned upwards. This was certainly intentional. Many of his publicly displayed statues and images must have depicted him in this way, looking upwards, looking towards God. And also, as a curiosity, notice how well made the flan of this coin is. Very sharp, even strike, full beating visible all over, and a very even, well-rounded flan. We can clearly see such medallions were made one by one, slowly, with attention and care to detail. Another cool detail, Constantine reintroduced the idea of the royal diadem. Back during the early empire, the emperor would wear a laurel wreath, a symbol of this distinction, but not necessarily a connection to the divine. The emperor, the princeps, was a special man, but he was still a man. He could become a god after his death, but only if he proved himself worthy. With Constantine adopting this jewel diadem, he's crowning himself in the fashion of the old Greek kings. He's reinforcing the idea that a covenant had been established between him and God, or gods, whatever you chose to worship. But the point was, there was something more than purely secular and military reasons why he was the uncontested emperor. And you, a member of this distinguished nobility who just received this esteemed golden gift, you would not dare raise and revolt against the divine powers incarnate in this man, would you? And in case the message was not abundantly clear on the obverse, we have the reverse. For this reverse, Christian iconography takes a backseat. This is a strong, militaristic, fully pagan reverse. The emperor is stylized as Virtus, the god of virility, of manly values. One could even say he's depicted as Mars himself, the god of war, as he carries with him a tropaion, a trophy, made out of the arms and armor of the many enemies he defeated in battle. He is, without any kind of remorse, stepping over a captive and dragging the other one by the hair. The kind of brutal reminder he was perfectly capable of being ruthless in war. The legends, Gloria Constantini Augustoris, the glory of Constantine the Emperor, reinforces this idea of him being the sole emperor by merit of his victories. Beautifully rendered armor the emperor is wearing here, full of details. We can even see the cape he wears over his cuirass blowing with the wind. Such a spectacular coin. Any Roman medallion is already spectacular, but having a gold medallion on hand truly is something else. I would like to thank Kinzer Coins once more for bringing us this amazing coin, and if you would like to own this amazing piece, he will be auctioning it off at the next CNG Triton auction number 27. So definitely keep an eye on Kinzer Coins' website for news if you're interested. Now I want to hear from you. Have you got a Constantinian coin? Let us know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like and consider subscribing if you did. Happy collecting, and I'll see you soon.